It's 12 August 2026, and this is History Dad Storytelling. So today's story, we go back to the year of 1909, and the basis of the story actually happened right up the road in the city of Indianapolis. All right, they basically looked at the automobile and said, "You know what? We really need a giant oval where people can just drive really, really fast." Well, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway opened in Indiana, giving the growing automobile industry a place to test cars, compete, and apparently prove that Americans have already mastered the fine art of turning gasoline into a noise. I tell you, if you've never had a chance to go to the Speedway or even catch the 500, wow, that has to be on your bucket list. And yes, this is before the 500 became the massive Memorial Day tradition we're going to talk about. Okay, so the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was created during a time when automobiles still were relatively new, and manufacturers were looking for ways to demonstrate what their machines can do. Sounds like racing, right? So instead of racing on ordinary city streets, the Speedway provided a dedicated place for this competition. Its first major events in 1909 helped establish Indianapolis as part of the important center for automobile racing and helped show Americans that cars can go, you know, really fast and they're in the future, but it was also just not a fancy new invention. So, of course, the Speedway would eventually become world famous for the Indianapolis 500, first held in 1911. But over decades, drivers from around the world would come to Indiana to chase one of racing's most coveted victories. Names like AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, Rick Mears, and countless others became part of the Speedway's legendary story. So, what began as a testing ground for automobiles became one of the most recognizable sporting venues in the world. So, why is this important to American history? Well, the opening of the Indianapolis Speedway is important because it reflects how America's transformation during the early 20th century into really what we know as today. The automobile was changing on how Americans traveled, worked, manufactured parts, and experienced entertainment. So, Indianapolis became a major part of that story, and the Speedway helped turn automobile racing into an important part of the American culture. More than a century later, the roar of the engines at the Speedway is a reminder that Indiana played a major role in America's love affair with automobiles, and that sometimes history happens about 200 plus miles an hour nowadays. Well, that is pretty interesting. So, my name is Kirk Weaver. I'm the author of The Wall Still Holds, still available now on Amazon. All right, it is 12 August 2026, and you have a great day.